Hello YouTubers! I thought that it would be a nice idea to make another video. I haven't made any videos now for some time. I'm going to show you some of my latest purchases. It's a nice little bunch here with quite varied issues, I have to say that. First I'm going to start by talking about a Swedish singer called Blues Annika. She made one LP. This was recorded in 1979 together with a group of very good Gothenburg-based musicians. It isn't really a blues album, although she called herself Blues Annika, but it has the attitude of real blues because she was a woman that had, according to the very little information I found about her, had some problems with drug addiction, and well, had led a quite heavy life when this was recorded, and that she, when it was recorded, that she was free from her addiction, but you can really, she isn't the typical blues singer. She has a very strong voice, but not raspy, but you can find some elements of Bessie Smith in her voice, and but the music is more like cabaret oriented, well, with some blues and jazz elements. She makes a version of Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out, that in Swedish here is called Ingen känner dig när du är pantad och såld. And very good album. Many of my record collecting friends here in Sweden have been talking about this album and this singer, so I was a bit curious to find out more about her and find her albums. So I did, and I like it very much. Sadly, it is her only album, and I don't really know what happened to her, although there are rumors on the internet that she got back to drug addiction and that she today may not live the nicest kind of lives. Very, very sad to hear about that. Right, over to a Swedish artist, a songwriter, and with very unique style, lots of wordplay, lots of comedy elements, but also a lot of thinking, very thoughtful, very deep, sometimes a bit too deep, and he can from time to time be very brilliant, but he can also be very uneven. So I'm talking about the Swedish singer Robert Blubey, or Robban, or Robert Karl-Oskar Blubey, as he called himself a couple of times. I have quite a few of his albums, but I managed to fill in two big gaps a couple of days ago. This is en typiskt rund LP med hål i mitten, and I've had this on a CD for years, but I haven't had a LP copy, a vinyl copy. It is quite uneven, recorded in 1971, but it starts with a wonderful, beautiful love ballad, Redan när vi sätter oss till bords, that was banned from Swedish radio because it is nothing else than a description of sex, but with very nice composition. And is it the children's choir that's awing in the background that made it a bit too thick for the people at the Swedish radio, but it's one of his best songs. It is a bit uneven apart from that, I have to say that, but still great to have. Then this album, Vem är det som bromsar och vem är det som skjuter på, from 1974, probably his most political album, and he's joined here by Peter Clemensen and Arne Frank from Hoola Bandoola Band. It's a very laid back album with great lyrics, and it is much more even than any other album I ever heard with him. So that has to make it this one of his better albums all in all. From 1974. Right. I managed to find this reissue of Peter Barden's first album. That album was called The Answer. This is called Vintage 69, and it was issued in 1976. Why the change of name, I wonder, because it's really odd. But although it's a superb album, and you could really understand that he would become a great star in the group Camel later. I can show you this. It's on Transatlantic. I can show you the transparent, lovely vinyl too. I have to. It's quite childish, but I have a soft spot for colored vinyl and transparent vinyl and stuff like that. It's really childish. I know. Right. Right, compilation with one of my absolute favorite groups, the Pogues, the best of the Pogues. I bought this on CD when it was new back in 1991, and was the first Pogues. No, it wasn't, but one of the first Pogues albums I bought. Well, to get it now on vinyl is mainly, well, to make sure I got most of their available albums of vinyl. I don't know if the rest of the best of the Pogues were ever issued on vinyl. Right, over to this CBS album with the singers Pamela Pollard, from 1972, a bit worn, but very good. But I have to say, she's very hard to Google, this Pamela Pollard. I haven't found out that much about her. So she's a bit of a mystery. Has anybody out there seen or heard this girl before? Great album. Should be more well known than it is. Right. 10 Years After album. Rock and roll music to the world. This is on Chrysalis. It's a Swedish pressing, and it's from 1972. Not, of course, 10 years after when they were at their best, but still, it's 10 years after. Right. On the Buddha label, the second Brooklyn Bridge. Well, it's a Brooklyn Bridge, the group, and this is probably their second album. I haven't been able to listen to this yet, so I don't really know what it is. But it looked interesting. Right, this I know what it is. Steve Hackett, Defector. Steve Hackett of Genesis fame. I've started to try to get hold of his solo albums lately, and this is the second one I've found, and this is fairly early one. I don't know if it's his first solo album, not sure at all, but probably not. It's from 1980. It's on Charisma, and yes, it has the Mad Hatter label. Right, over to a Swedish indie group that's not that famous, Könsförrädare, Curse or Law, and this is from 2013, so it's fairly new. This group is from my former hometown, Luvio, that I've been talking a lot of here, so I'm always eager to listen to music that comes from my former hometown, and I have to say, it's okay. It's not really my kind of cup of tea, but still it is listenable, and they have some good songs. Although I'm not too fond of the kind of lo-fi way it is recorded, because I feel that, okay, maybe I'm just missing the point, but I feel that today almost anybody can make recordings that sound a bit more better than this. But great songs and a great group, I have to say that. Not too fond of the production. Right, I went to the record fair in Solna last Saturday, and I was joined there even with my visiting cousin, and I didn't think that she would be that interested in joining me there, but she did, and she managed to not go nuts while I was checking through all the record sellers records, although I didn't, of course. It's such a big record fair. I went to a few sellers and found some great albums, but of course I didn't stay there all day. But two other interesting albums I found were these bootlegs: Deep Purple, Just Like the Rabbits, Casino de Montreux, October 1969, and Live in Montreux, Casino. And it is not the same record because there are different songs on it. Although I think it's from the same concert because it's October 4th, 1969. These were made in limited editions, 150 pieces each, and this is they are on colored vinyl as well, so they look very nice. Right, about looking very nice, then we have this Finnish blues singer Aria Lt and her album The Sky is Crying. Very good guitar player, quite a good blues singer, and she is really inspired by Elmore James. You can really hear that. And of course The Sky is Crying is the famous Elmore James number. So and it's a very pleasant album, and I hope to be able to hear more of her in the future. Aria Lt. Right, we're going to talk about well, for those of you who are sensitive, you may skip this bit of the video because we are going into the field of erotica. And I was able to find this album, Erotica, The Rhythm of Love, on the Fax label. And it's from that. Pardon me for laughing because this is really weird. It's on Fax. It's on the Fax label, and what it is, well, it is music made from the sound of two persons making love, and some percussion, and well, it is a bit hard to describe really. You have to experience. I think some friendly people on YouTube have actually uploaded this album so you can listen to it. But it's a real oddity, really. I have behind me, I have the oddity part of my collection where I put the records that I can't really put anywhere else, and this will definitely go into that spot. Right, alright. Another really odd album that will go into the Asian slot is You Baby by Ike Reko. And for those of you who are, well, I'm not going to say that much, just going to show you this. And what is this? Well, it is Japanese pop recorded in 1971 by the, I think then 17 or 18-year-old singer and erotic actress Ike Reiko. I think the whole genre is called pink violence. Not sure really why. You see, I've been studying the topic because I really wanted to know more about this. I found this on the record fair as well, and I know that I've read about this album somewhere, probably in the paper, in the magazine Record Collector, because somewhere back in mind I recognized this. So, what is it? Well, it is some sort of lounge pop with some jazz elements, but with lots of groaning and all kind of sighing and some sort of erotic sounds made by this singer. And you can't really listen to this in polite company because it is a bit too much. It's probably the most erotic LP I've ever heard, and it's too much, really. It's good, but it's really weird and not that accessible, even if the music itself is fairly straightforward. Right, enough about that. All right, over to another. Well, this is not erotica, but it's a slightly erotic cover. Well, Melody Gardot with The Absence. Very nice, I have to say. Melody Gardot, I've heard about her for many years, but I haven't really listened. And I got hold of this album. It was on sale, and I have to say it's really great. Especially the kind of Brazilian nudge or Brazilian tone that you find on this album. I have a strong love for that, and so I think I'm going to have to check up her previous albums. This is her third one, as far as I know, and she's very popular here in Sweden, and her records are selling very good. I think her second album topped the Swedish album lists when it came out in, I think, in 2008, 2009. Right. Oh my goodness, I've been talking for 60 minutes. Let's hurry up. Next album, Neil Young, Harvest Moon, out in 1992, and I was a great fan of the title song back then, but I never ever bought it, and then I thought it would be very difficult to find on LP and on vinyl, but I found it, and it was another record I found at the record fair, Solna. And here's another record with the German band Grosskreuz, sorry, Rockpommelsland. It's on the Brain label, and it's the second Grosskreuz album I bought, and I've heard about this many times, and I heard that it's supposed to be very good, so I got it, and I have to say, it is very good. Found this bit odd Gentle Giant reissue from the 1980s, 500 copy limited pressing reissue on the Timeless label. I'm always on the hunt for these early Gentle Giant albums, and even if it's a reissue, it's at least a fairly unusual one. Right. I found one of the gaps in my collection, Once More with Cook. I'm a great fan of Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, so I was happy to find this as well. My friend up in northern Sweden, Andreas, made me start to listen to Crazy Almond. Made me. He told me about this great song that Crazy Almond did called Sunglasses, and it's a true classic. So I bought that album that record was on, and I liked it so much that I thought I wanted her first one too. So I got it now. You Broke My Heart in 17 Places. Great album. And great singer. I think I mentioned her before, that she's a great comedian as well, and done some really good her Tracy Ullman show. I've seen some clips on YouTube, although I never saw it when it was originally aired. I think it's among the better stuff I've seen. Right, and finally, I've got their second album from many years ago, but now I finally got their first one, and it is the Before the Censorship. It's Mom's Apple Pie, and I don't think that you on the screen will see the reason why why the sleeve was censored, but it was. So I haven't listened to this yet, but I like the group, and because I heard their second album, and well, that's that more or less. Now I'm going to start by showing 3 albums by Swedish popular artists. Never really. He never got the credit from the critics, but he was very, very popular, especially in Sweden and Norway, and I think also in Denmark, called Björn Afzelius. I haven't had any albums with him, but I went and saw a new documentary about him on the cinema quite recently. So I thought, well, maybe some of his albums contain some songs that I would like, some songs that I like a lot. So I bought 3. This is Globetrotter, and this is Innan Tystnaden, and this is Exil. So that's it. Well, sorry for, I think it's a bit murky picture image quality tonight, but I think it's because it's a bit dark here, because this is recorded in the evening. I rarely make my videos in the evening, but I thought, well, why not? I thought I wanted to put these records into the record shelves, so I thought, well, I better make the video first before it's time to put them away. So, oh God, goodness gracious me, 20 minutes up 27 seconds. Right, for those of you who managed to sit through this whole video, thank you very much. Well done. I couldn't have done it. Well, bye-bye vinyl community for now, and bye YouTubers in general. Bye for now.